The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. A few moments later, outside, Xiao Mu stood silently as he looked at the crowd. The executioner stared at him. Fang Yuan thought to himself, Senior Qiao, you will forever live in my heart. Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiking declared. The criminal Qiao Zhang attempted to assassinate His Majesty and insulted the immortals and gods. His crimes are unforgivable. By imperial decree, he threw down the execution token. Execute him. The executioner approached and said, Kneel. He placed his hand on Qiao Mu's shoulder and tried to force him down. Qiao Mu looked at him and said, Killing a person is just a matter of the head falling to the ground. You can take this life, but my knees are stiff, and I cannot kneel. The executioner struggled and trembled as he tried to make Qiao Mu kneel. The crowd was shocked. A man with a big nose said, This is the first time I have seen someone who does not kneel at the execution ground. His friend added, he is about to die and still refuses to admit his mistakes. This martial artist really has a backbone. His wife said, unyielding in the face of death, he is a real man. The executioner shouted as he struggled, he is about to die. What is the point of acting tough? His colleague said, I have worked on the execution ground for years, yet I cannot even subdue a youngster like you. Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiking barked, Move aside, you useless bunch. Even before death you have to be so indecent? Qiao Mu replied, Then do you want me to be decent after death? Qin Shiking kicked Qiao Mu's legs. The sound of breaking bones echoed out. Qin Shiking sneered, Your legs are broken, you can only kneel. But he was shocked. Qiao Mu remained standing. Qiao Mu grinned and said, Listen up, I Qiao Zhang do not kneel to heaven, do not kneel to earth. Even less will I kowtow and admit my mistakes to a dog emperor and those nonsense-speaking outsiders. Jiang Chen was shocked. Heavens, his bones are exposed. A man wiped his sweat and said, To think there are really people in this world who are not afraid of death. His friend added, But going against the emperor and the outsiders, even several lives would not be enough. Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiking snapped at the executioner. What are you standing around for? Execute him. The executioner hesitated. But he has not knelt down yet. Qin Shiking barked, Do not worry about it. Execute him. As the executioner swung his blade at Qiao Mu's neck, the sunlight blazed down upon them. A moment of silence followed. Qiao Mu's body remained standing. Jiang Chen did not even flinch as he watched the execution. He said to himself, A tree that grows from the smallest sprout. Jiang Chen understands what Hero Qiao said before his death. I will definitely not fail to live up to your expectations and will spread the deeds of the Qiao family. Fang Yuan, filled with sorrow, said to himself, Senior Qiao. He remembered the words spoken not long ago. Hero Qiao, you taught me martial arts, but I have not repaid your great kindness. Now that my benefactor is about to pass away, I am really useless. Qiao Mu had said, Kid, if you really want to repay me, leave me some silver. Place it under the crooked-neck tree in the mass grave. Someone from my Qiao family will come to collect it. Fang Yuan gripped his spear tightly and said to himself, Hero Qiao, do not worry. I will definitely do as you promised. And he stood there silently. Above, Daozhen watched. He said, Interesting. The Qiao family? I will remember that. Inside Qiao Mu's sea of consciousness, longevity lock. Qiao Mu said, I am so looking forward to it. What kind of death reward will I get this time? A system notification said, Death evaluation level, Immortal Dao Bell Ringer. This death reward, Great Perfection bonus skill points, 200. Point skill balance, 200 point 7-day revival limit. 4 out of 5. Qiao Mu exclaimed, Oh, S rank, give me all the rewards quickly. A system notification said, Immortality Fist, Aura Training Chapter Perfection, 100% in Body Transformation Perfection, 100% in V Technique. Perfection, 100% on Celestial Demon Dismantling Shadow Step Perfection. 100%. Qiao Mu was bombarded with notifications and laughed loudly, ha ha. As expected of an S-rank reward. A system notification said Mount Sumeru King Scripture 5th level, 100%. A system notification said Rippling Inner Strength Technique, Triple Wave, 100%. A system notification said Martial Saint Spirit Rhino Technique Small Success, 100%. Qiao Mu said, Except for these 3 incomprehensible current martial arts techniques, all the other techniques have reached perfection. Vitality? Is this a new indicator? A system notification said Vitality Status Declining. Qiao Mu thought to himself, It feels like my body has experienced 60 years in an instant, and 60 years of martial arts experience is equivalent to several lifetimes for other martial artists. So the decline in vitality is because this wave of massive skill upgrades exceeded my body's capacity? No, it should be that it had already dropped to the lowest point. But with the Mount Sumeru King scripture reaching the 5th level, my vitality has returned to 70% of its peak. As he looked at the lock, a system notification said after the first chain is broken, each death skill point reward is doubled. The system no longer displays the remaining lifespan. Life points are deducted randomly based on the death evaluation. If the host has any objections to the life points deducted for each death, the host has one chance to appeal. If the appeal is successful, the deduction of life points can be revoked. Chao Mu scratched his head and said to himself, "What does this mean? Before I lost 1 year per death, but now it is possible to lose everything at any time? So, my gains from cheating death have increased, but the risks have also increased. Is that it?" A system notification said warning, detected that the host's brain is at risk of overload, immediately forcing logout from the sea of consciousness. Chao Mu protested, Hey, can you not give me more hints?" Chao Mu appeared near the river. He said, "Speaking of which, my Mount Sumeru King scripture is already at the 5th level?" Mr. Hai Wuya said he only cultivated it to the 4th level. To think that in just a short moment, I have surpassed Mr. Hai Wuya's 30 years of research, and my appearance still remains in my 20s. I thought it was because of my vitality before. Now it seems that it is mostly because the system adjusted it for me through the Immortality Fist and the Mount Sumeru King scripture. Anti-aging effects are maxed out, and Mr. Hai Wuya's Mount Sumeru King scripture is not perfect. If I continue to develop and practice it, perhaps the effects will be even stronger. I will study it slowly in the future. For now, let's go get another reward. In a different scene, Fang Yuan said, heave ho, as he dug the ground. Fang Yuan said, dig deeper. Hero Chao's hard work cannot be snatched away by wild cats or dogs. Suddenly, Chao Mu appeared and said to him, "What are you doing?" Fang Yuan was startled and shouted, "A ghost!" He immediately knelt down and pleaded, "Senior, I am sorry for disturbing you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me." Chao Mu smiled and said, "You really came, an honest kid." Fang Yuan's face lit up. "Hero Chao," Chao Mu asked, "you are happy to see a ghost? Are you not afraid I will hurt you?" Fang Yuan replied, "Yo, this big package is for the Chao family. Hero Chao lived as a hero and died as a hero. Why should I be afraid?" Chao Mu said with a sigh. "Unfortunately, I am not Chao Zhong, but his clansman. My name is Chao Shuanglin." Fang Yuan nodded. "I see. After all, the dead cannot come back to life." He added, "Senior Chao, I am a prison guard of the heavenly prison." Chao Mu's eyes widened. "So much silver. And the human Tao, is that not a scripture?" "Exactly what we agreed on." Fang Yuan explained. "Senior Chao taught me martial arts in prison. This silver is what I promised to give to the Chao family. As for the human Tao scripture, Elder Hai hopes it can continue to be passed down and developed in the hands of the Chao family." Chao Mu thought to himself, this kid is not only rich, but also honest. I can work with him. Chao Mu asked, "But such a precious martial arts secret manual, do you really not want to keep it for yourself?" Fang Yuan replied firmly, "How could I? That belongs to Senior Chao. Besides, it is the greatest misfortune in life for a family's belongings to be stolen." Chao Mu said, "Yo, you have a story? Tell me about it." Fang Yuan began, "My family was originally a merchant family in the imperial capital. Although I am not my parents' biological child, our home was very happy. My father, with his discerning eye for treasures, became the richest man in the imperial capital. But good fortune often comes with misfortune. A few years ago, my father accidentally obtained the Blood Sun diagram, a treasure that can help divine refinement martial artists break through. Who would have guessed it would bring fatal disaster? After my father died, the family business was divided up by the Wan family of the imperial capital, and my younger sister, Fang Fang, also disappeared. I became a prison guard to use the government's network to search for her. Later, I discovered that the martial artist responsible was a retainer of the Wan family. His name was Sword Devil. I originally wanted revenge, but then the head of the Wan family, Wan Ronghua, got involved with the Grand Tao sect. "Alas," Chao Mu said solemnly, "Kid, revenge is a deep pit. You cannot handle it." Fang Yuan responded, "My parents' feud cannot go unavenged." Chao Mu grinned, "That is why I am here." Fang Yuan was shocked. "Huh?" Chao Mu muttered to himself, "Blood Sun diagram? High-level martial artist? Grand Tao sect? The buff for scoring points is full," Fang Yuan said nervously. "But that is the Grand Tao." Even the emperor does not want to face them directly. Qiao Mu shouted with excitement, "I am so happy." Fang Yuan begged, "Senior, please think twice." Qiao Mu declared, "My big blade is already starving and thirsty." Fang Yuan hesitated. "This is my family's matter. There is no need to trouble you, senior." Qiao Mu waved it off. "It is easy. Just let me take your last name, Qiao." Fang Yuan blinked in surprise. "Huh? That is possible too?" Qiao Mu said, "Good son, do not worry. I will definitely help you deal with Wanronghua." In a different scene, Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiqing kowtowed to Immortal Qing Yi. "Greetings, Immortal Qing Yi." Immortal Qing Yi said, "Qin Shiqing, over the years, your devotion to the Grand Tao sect has been clear to us." Qin Shiqing replied humbly, "Immortal Elder, you flatter me. It is just a small effort." Suddenly Dao Zhen appeared. "A small effort? You are really humble." Qin Shiqing was startled. Dao Zhen continued, "Killing your wife to prove your Tao. Such determination is indeed extraordinary. Unfortunately, you do not have spiritual roots, so you lack the aptitude for the immortal Tao." Qin Shiqing looked back at Dao Zhen and bowed even lower. "I know my aptitude is dull, but I am wholeheartedly devoted to the Tao. Please, Immortal Elder, show me a clear path." Dao Zhen thought to himself, "A person who can be seen through at a glance, an extreme worshipper, is useless for my enlightenment. How boring." Immortal Qing Yi said, "Although you cannot cultivate immortality due to your aptitude, have you heard of the legend of entering the Tao through martial arts?" Qin Shiqing's eyes lit up. "Entering the Tao through martial arts? That's right." Immortal Qing Yi said, "After the martial saint died, the martial artists of the world were left without a leader. If you can succeed, you will become the leader of the martial path for all. At that time, you may be able to represent our immortal sect, the Grand Tao sect, and establish a territory of your own. Such an achievement would far surpass merely becoming an outer disciple of our Grand Tao sect." Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiqing bowed deeply. "Thank you, Immortal Elder. From now on, I am entirely at your command." Immortal Qing Yi thought to himself, Emperor Yonko pulled out the human king's sword. The way to deal with it is simple. As long as the great Yan dynasty is overthrown and the national destiny scattered, the human king's sword will surely lose its brilliance. Then you, this puppet king, can establish an earthly immortal kingdom in service of our Grand Tao sect. Immortal Qing Yi then said aloud, "There is still one more matter I need you to handle. Dao Zhen, I leave it to you." Heavenly Prison Warden Qin Shiqing said, "Farewell, Immortal Elder." Dao Zhen responded, "Yes, Master." He turned to Qin Shiqing and said, "Wanronghua, the richest man in the imperial capital, is one of our sect's primary sources of incense offerings. Last night, Master observed the celestial phenomena and saw that Wanronghua appears to face an upcoming calamity. This matter is not too serious." Qin Shiqing declared with resolve, "I am willing to go through fire and water for the Immortal Elder." Dao Zhen smiled. "Good boy." He thought to himself, "Even a boring mortal can become interesting with repeated stimulation. During this period, you will be my toy to relieve boredom." Qin Shiqing silently vowed, "Endure. Only through meritorious service can I gain a foothold in the immortal sect. I will definitely protect Wanronghua." When another scene, at the execution site of Qiao Mu, Hai Wuya poured wine over the bloodstained earth and spoke with sorrow. "Qiao, my young friend. We got along so well right from the start. It is such a pity we were not destined to walk the same path. Just after your departure today, the Emperor summoned me to resume my former post. Alas, fate truly mocks people. Like you, I likely do not have enough time left to fully develop the human Tao scripture. In the end, I may not live to see the day when the human way flourishes, but it does not matter. The Mount Sumeru King scripture has been passed on to the Qiao family. As you once said, as long as the fire is passed on, even a single spark can start a prairie fire hundreds or thousands of years later." From a distance, Dao Zhen observed Hai Wuya and mused, when Hai Wuya failed the imperial examinations repeatedly. He was guided by the martial saint to practice martial arts, hoping it would be a shortcut to becoming an official. Later, due to matters involving the immortals, he angered Emperor Yonke and was imprisoned in the heavenly prison twice, for a total of 30 years. His body is fragile like a mayfly in this world, yet his mind is exceptionally firm. He is wholeheartedly devoted to glorifying the human way. Is that foolish delusion or lofty ambition? To be continued. This is much more interesting than that matter about the fake martial saint master mentioned. Even Hai Wuya thinks highly of this Qiao Mu. Dao Zhen walked forward, knelt beside the blood, and toyed with it, saying, "Just who are you? What is your origin? Let me see." He wrote Xiao Mu's name with his blood upon a paper, and suddenly the paper vanished. Dao Zhen froze in astonishment. This? No soul. Then he burst into laughter. Hee 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 hee. Interesting. Truly too interesting. I have new characters to write about. I am so happy. And then from afar, the world's #1 divine detective, Wei En, watched and whispered to himself, the Grand Dao Sect. Qing Yi, Dao Zhen, Qin Shi King. After the death of the martial saint, all sorts of monsters and demons are revealing themselves. The next day, Mr. Lu Renjia, this is the old Fang family mansion you wanted to rent. Now under the alias Lu Renjia, Xiao Mu examined the house and said, very good. I am very satisfied. The man smiled as he turned to leave. Great, I actually rented out this haunted house at the original price. Lu Renjia responded, okay. Xiao Mu thought to himself, I've easily entered the Fang family's old estate. Now it's my turn. He said to Fang Yuan, you mentioned, your family also has a treasure map? Fang Yuan nodded. That's right. The treasure map is divided into 2 parts, the sun map and the moon map. The sun and moon maps were hidden separately by my father. The sword fiend is always with the Wan family. Only a divine refinement treasure can lure him out. The blood moon map is the best choice. My identity is not convenient to reveal, so I will have to trouble you, senior. He looked around and whispered, the treasure map is hidden in the secret compartment in the study. Xiao Mu said to himself, found it, mission accomplished. Time to wrap things up. Fang Yuan had said earlier, besides, it is the greatest injustice in life to have family heirlooms stolen. Xiao Mu paused and stood silently. He then thought to himself, since I am already here, I will leave a gift for that kid too. Xiao Mu sat down and declared, human Tao scripture deduction begins. As he concentrated, he suddenly spat blood. Cough, cough, cough. I nearly entered a state of qi deviation. Mr. Hai was right. Deducing this technique is extremely dangerous. Xiao Mu steadied himself and thought, it is okay. It is just a little blood. Let us continue. Suddenly, an absurdly loud sound echoed. Xiao Mu thought, some twists and turns are normal, reasonable. Then he looked down in shock. It seems something came out. As he stared blankly at what emerged, he muttered, my liver exploded. After all, this is a top-tier It is normal, reasonable, very reasonable. Continue. A few moments later, spat out a few teeth, just losing a few teeth. No big deal. Then he urinated blood. Normal, normal, just peeing blood. Then his rib shot out and smashed into the wall. Aya! A rib accidentally flew out. Trembling in pain, Xiao Mu whispered, it's okay. It is just that the power of this Mount Sumeru King scripture is a bit strong. This round, it's mainly because I am too strong. The inner energy in my body is overly abundant, which is not always a good thing. Whatever. I'll just treat this as testing the newly upgraded system rules. He stood shakily on the table and declared, even if I unfortunately die on the path to the rise of the human way, my life will not be in vain. System, you had better be reliable. Help me restart. And with that, he hung himself. Oh, and half a month later, a man outside shouted, is the Fang family's ancestral home the palace of Yama? The innkeeper cried his heart out. Darn it, 8 lives were lost in half a month. 8 lives. The house price has dropped to 10% of the original value, and still no one will rent it or buy it. My performance, my monthly salary. A fat man stammered, I'm sorry. I was too shocked. The innkeeper sobbed. The fat man added, but speaking of which, it really is too strange. All the tenants who moved in died mysteriously. Could it be that it is truly haunted by something unclean? Maybe we should hire a Taoist priest to take a look? The innkeeper thought of the man who had once disguised himself as Lu Renjia, Xiao Mu. Isn't he right here? I don't care. We've been best friends for years. You have to take responsibility and help me sell it. Sell your behind. That house is known to be haunted. Who in the world would buy it? Suddenly, Fang Yuan spoke up. The innkeeper turned in shock. Really? How much are you offering? Fang Yuan said calmly, according to the current market price. 100 taels. Hand over the deed. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.